Hello, welcome to the Perfect Genetics Challenge, Generation 2, Episode 14. And here's Cindy. She's gone to the Stone's Throw greenhouse in the middle of the night. She decided she'd like to collect some seeds, and while there she thought she'd analyse an insect. Cindy's mother is Olivia, the founder of this challenge, and Cindy was Olivia's heir. And now Cindy's got her own little heir who is still a child, but she's working hard on her school and her skills, and she'll soon be ready to age up to teen, but not in this episode. Carl has arrived as well. Now, Carl is Cindy's stepson. He's a teen now, and he's come here to collect some suns. The suns come from the dancing sunflowers. If sold soon after being collected, they can be worth up to 100 simoleons each to the sim who sells them. But Carl has come here to take them home and put them in the composter because he wants to fertilise the garden. If you watched the previous episode, Carl is the sim who was toadified and had to go to sunlit tides. So Judy Butler, a very powerful witch, could cure him using the sunlight charm. I always add 4 humble harvest stands to the greenhouse when I place it in my games. It lets the Sims consign their produce and other things. There's always lots of seeds and minor pets to be found at the greenhouse. Back at home, Don's in his sleepwear and he's decided he needs to plant a seed. Just one seed. I don't know why, but he just decided that's what he needed to do. And Carl's gone home and he has put his sons into the composter so he can fertilise all of the plants underneath that composter. The composter only holds 3 sons. Carl had a lot more sons than that, so he can either sell what he's got left or use them to fertilise the other plants in the greenhouse. Meanwhile, Don has decided to tend to what's left of his garden. Most of them have died and been cleared away by now. Sometime later, Don and Olivia need to go to work at the diner, and Bill heads off to the coffee house for his shift. Don and Olivia are only working 2 days a week now. Olivia's got to level 10 in the culinary career, and Don's at level 9. He needs to be at level 10 to get his lifetime wish, and it seems to be taking him an extraordinarily long time to do. Little Coco wants to get to level 10 in the hunting skill, and she's out there looking for prey. I originally decided that these imaginary friends made real only need to learn a few potions, but then I changed my mind. They're doing all 10 potions and getting to level 10 in the logic skill in the process. That's Lance on the left, Riley at the back corner there, and Paul closest to us. Paul's the one who's holding up the aging up to young adult because he's got so many books to read and skills to learn before he can become a young adult. Paul is Max's imaginary friend made real, and Max is almost ready to age up to young adult, but not quite. He's still got some reading to do and some skills to learn, so they're both working hard. Here's Byron. He is the latest imaginary friend to be made real. He was Daryl's imaginary friend. He's on his way home on his bicycle. He's been at the grocery store learning fishing skill. He needed to take a class in fishing. Fortunately, there are plenty of seats in this house, and everybody can always find somewhere to sit because they've got lots of reading to do in this episode, and they're also learning lots of other skills. Everybody's working hard, even Don and Olivia, who are almost ready to age up to elder. They are safe at the moment, they're still adults. Olivia is the founder of this series. There's Lance and Riley still working on learning potions. A lot of the Sims are making wishes to make potions as well, and I'm letting them make those potions that they wish for to try to get them a few lifetime rewards before they age up and move out. That's Carl and Sunny sitting there reading at the table. It was prom night and all of the teens were ready to go out to the prom, have fun for the evening, and then at the last minute Carl changed his mind, refused to get in the car, and he'd stayed home. Since he was obviously going nowhere, I got him to check for the mail before he went back inside the house. And there are quite a few congratulatory certificates there for various Sims reaching level 10 and various skills. And here they are, the 3 that decided that they would go to the prom have arrived. We'll leave them there to enjoy themselves. I think Paul ended up with the kings of the prom crown this night. That was a bit of a surprise though, because he got into a huge fight at some point during the evening. I'm glad they had fun though, because they put themselves behind in their schedule for reading books and learning skills. Pat got home and in his good outfit decided to start throwing water balloon fights with one of the townies that was in their backyard. So I hope he didn't totally ruin his good clothes. They kept at it for sim hours, so I guess they were both totally drenched by the time they were tired. Denise finished reading her fishing bait book and took a little break to have a game of Whack-A-Gnome. She loves to play that game. Some of the other Sims get a game of it in occasionally as well. Time for the only little toddler in the house to age up to child. He is an extra baby that Don and Olivia had very late in life. So his big sister is Cindy, and he's got older brothers who have moved out and have babies of their own who are children at school. And he's never met them yet. I'm sure he'll meet them one day. They live in Mountain Lake. Here's Cindy to see her baby brother age up to child. So it's birthday party time. Here's Daryl. He is Cindy's son. The toddler who's aging up is Daryl's uncle. And Daryl's little sister, Donna, is Cindy's heir. I'm sure she'll be here shortly as well. Cindy and Bill had 2 sets of twins. There you go, the candles. They've blown out now. Oh, and here's Pat. He's got out of his good outfit. He went to the prom last night and then came home and had a water balloon fight with a townie. And now he's here at a birthday party. Yes, here comes Sonny, the little alien. He's the youngest alien. He's about to age up in this episode as well, but not until the end of the video. That is Donna, the little heir who's just come in the pink dress and the pink hair. And Paul, who was king of the prom last night. Don't know why, because he had such a fight in the middle of it all. That'd be Lance. He is Sonny's imaginary friend made real. So they'll both be aging up in this episode at the end. And there he is. Oliver is now a fully fledged child. We got the bookworm trait. I haven't used that trait for ages, so I thought I would give it to him. And here comes Olivia, his mother. She's the founder. Now it's time for cake, and I'll give him a makeover after they've eaten their cake. But I think I'll save first, just to make sure we don't lose anything. This birthday went just too perfectly. The cake didn't turn into an inferno. And he didn't refuse to age up. And cake's all getting eaten. So, it looks good. Until we tried to save and we got near a 12. And oh no. I've been getting so many of them because I've got the graphics turned right down to just about the bare minimums. It's just using up so much memory and it's not releasing memory. And it's being terrible. I think the house is the problem. So we're going to move to a new world. Had a bit of think about that overnight. Decided that's the only option. So we're going to go and live in Appaloosa Plains. So as soon as the cake has finished being eaten, we'll watch that. And then the next day we'll be going to school in Appaloosa Plains. I chose Appaloosa Plains because it's a world I very rarely play in. I've got a few of those EA worlds that I haven't played in very often. I've tried them all out, it's just that I got a few favourites, and Appaloosa Plains isn't one of them. But it's very pretty in places, so we might as well go there and have a different experience. We've got another 8 generations to go, so who knows what's going to happen. I managed to move this house into Appaloosa Plains, and it is running beautifully now. Everybody's enjoying the outdoors. The process I used to get them here was I evicted them from their house and then I saved it to the library. I bulldozed the original house and I bulldozed a few other things around Moonlight Falls because we're going to keep that in the game. And then Don moved with the whole family, even the pets. We travelled to Appaloosa Plains, and then I placed the house from the library into a 64 by 64 lot and moved them into it. So now they live in Appaloosa Plains. And the game plays differently. They seem to do different things I haven't done before, that I haven't noticed anyway. And I decided not to send the children off to fishing holes to fish. They can just fish in their swimming pool. I've been avoiding doing that. Except occasionally, of course, I'll send them out fishing. We've got to look at the world, have a check out the scenery, and it could be a bit of fun occasionally to send the little ones out to do some fishing in the outdoors. These little boys have gone to the graveyard to do their fishing skill. I'm really focusing on their skills right now, and I'm getting them all up to level 7 in fishing so they can read their fishing books. And the teens are reading recipes as well as fishing books, and they're getting their gardening skill up to level 7. And the young adults and adults, they're just doing whatever extra reading or skills, particularly things that they wish for. So we're going to keep on making potions, and I've added in 2 consignment stores here and the Stone's Throw greenhouse that I've amended. So there's a few extra, and I also added some of the Showtime venues as well. And that's little Oliver standing closest to us, one with the orange and yellow striped t-shirt on. I gave him his makeover after he aged up and then managed to save him. The biggest problem I have with sending them out like this to go fishing is remembering to bring them home again before they get arrested for being out after curfew. Back home, after getting some of his fishing skill, he's now working on his cooking. He's got to do his child skills. That's cooking and blocks. This little Oliver who's just aged up from being a toddler. Oh, there's Bill. We haven't seen him yet. He's Cindy's husband, and he's the father of Daryl and Denise and Debbie and Donna. After finishing his cooking, Oliver has found the Whack-A-Gnome game, and he's been having some fun. Don't think he did really well that time though. Next morning it's time for school again. We've got to get those grades up from C to A if we're going to be aging up young Sims. The next 2 that will move out after they turn into young adults will be Paul and Max. They'll of course go to live in Vice City to join the other 4 that already went there, and the one Sim who is living there I placed there too when I put the world in. We've all seen them in earlier episodes. So this is the school in Appaloosa Plains, and it's a combo with the stadium which is next door. I don't seem to have much trouble with the combination rabbit holes, but maybe I don't do too much with them, so they just function basic functions and leave them alone. There's so many children and teens in the household, it takes a while to get them all inside. There's a few townies that will turn up there as well. So that's the school and stadium rabbit hole there in Appaloosa Plains. I've left my graphic options right down. I'd love to put them up so we could really enjoy the beautiful scenery in the worlds, but it looks okay as it is, and I really am nervous about having error 12s again because it does extremely slow down my production of videos. I can lose a whole week trying to save the most basic things just to try to get the gameplay done to be able to make a video, and I'd rather not do that. I'd rather, get more videos out. I sent Olivia to the consignment store because she had some little metal objects that she made on the inventing table, and so she came here to consign them, and there was Pip Goodfellow from Moonlight Falls dancing in the consignment store. We're not going to be lonely and miss all of those Moonlight Falls Sims after all if they're going to come here and go on holidays. And we've got the base camp next to their home, so we'll be able to keep an eye on Sims that visit the world as tourists. Olivia had a chat with the consignment store clerk, and after ignoring Pip Goodfellow, she went and sat down and started reading a book. Might as well enjoy the facilities if she's got a beautiful consignment store in town. There's only one llama in this world at this point. I'd forgotten that there was a llama in the consignment store. In The Sims 3, the llama is an acronym for Lightning Leap Atomic Molecular Arranger. You need to have at least 2 of them in the world for them to work. We've only got 1. The problem with llamas is sometimes the Sims get turned into a tragic clown when they're travelling by llama. Not too sure if I want to add any more of them or not. We'll think about that. Let me know what you think. There's Bill heading off to work. He works at the diner now. In Moonlight Falls he worked at the coffee house, but there was no coffee house in the world when we first arrived here. It's there now, but I'm not going to get him to change where he works in case he loses progress. He's about halfway through the career at this point. Looks though everyone's come home from school. Or it could just be the teens, they always come home first. But sometimes this bus waits for the children and brings them all home in one go. There's Bill arriving at work at the diner. I was just thinking about that llama. I have read somewhere that Sims can get mugged while travelling by llama, but I've never had that happen. I have, however, had numerous tragic clowns. It's a bit like being toadified. It lasts for a while, but they eventually revert back to their normal selves. Can be fun, can be a bit annoying. There's Donna, our little heir. She just finished having something to eat. And Max is studying. He's going to be aging up to young adult soon, but not in this episode. I think that Cindy's reading a book from work. She had an opportunity and she needs to read it. I've noticed that they need to read from the actual book when they've got an opportunity and not read the book through the multi-tab. I had one of them read with the multi-tab and the opportunity got cancelled and they got told off for throwing the book in the bin instead of reading it. It's after dark, it's night time, and the children can work on their fishing skill in the swimming pool at home without worrying about being out after dark. Much more convenient, and I was very surprised to see them actually catching fish. This little Debbie that's just come out and joined Donna and Lance. Lance is going to age up to teen in this episode. He is the imaginary friend of Sunny, the little alien child who's also going to age up to teen at the end of the episode. And Debbie and Donna are the youngest twins of Bill and Cindy. Looks like Byron's arrived there now. He's fishing as well. He is the most recently made real imaginary friend. He is the imaginary friend of the brother of Donna and Debbie, little Daryl. Denise and Daryl are twins, and they were the first twins. They were born in Mountain Lake when Bill and Cindy were visiting Mountain Lake. When Cindy's older brothers moved there and got married and started having babies. There's a whole lot of other families living in Mountain Lake that are related to this household. Don and Olivia keep flirting autonomously. They did this before and ended up having Oliver, which was fun, but I don't think we're going to have any more. I'm going to age them up to elders when Donna becomes a young adult. And they'll still stay in the household, and I won't age them up anymore after that. We'll just wait and see what happens, how long they last. As I said earlier, Sims are doing different things in this world than they were doing in Moonlight Falls. And the swimming pool is something that's become a very attractive place for them. I've found Don has repeatedly been found in the pool, and he loves to go diving. He does some magnificent dives, but any time I tell him to dive for the camera, he just does an ordinary dive. Anyway, maybe one day I'll catch him doing something spectacular. And Max is another one who's taken to the pool. I keep finding them in the pool, swimming and diving and having a wonderful time. I think that was more just jumping in. Looks like the children are home from school. That's Donna, the little heir. Sims are going to be working on their potions on and off for most of this video. We'll just pop in on them occasionally. Oh look, Pat just found a potion. He's got a few to go. He hasn't got very many skills because he hasn't been made real for very long. And Carl's just arrived. I think Carl might be making potions now that he's wished for. But Paul has also got a lot to learn still. Sent Pat down here to work on his fishing skill. Here is Don. He's got an opportunity to cook something and then take it to the coffee house. I was surprised he could stand there with that gnome lying where she is. He's got his cooking skill up to level 10 now, so he's got to read a few books, such as Ambrosia and Creviche and Baked Angel Food Cake. It took him quite a while to read them. They're fairly long and difficult recipes for a little sim to understand and remember, apparently. He seems to enjoy doing all this flipping. He kept doing it over and over again. I was sure he was going to drop it, but he didn't, which was fortunate. I'd hate to have to start all over again. So he put it in his pocket and then he headed off to the coffee house to deliver it and get his reward. Bill's still reading fishing books and recipes as well, and he's working on his cooking whenever he's at work, but he might end up having to do some work on his cooking skill at home as well. And there goes Don. He's heading off to the coffee house with the meal in his pocket. Might as well see a little bit of the world as he goes. I've only put 2 Showtime venues in this world, the coffee house and Performance Park. There wasn't a lot of empty lots. I did bulldoze one house because there was something I wanted to put in its slot. Forget what now. I don't currently have any Sims in the household that are in Showtime careers. We've got 2 Showtime stages in the world though, so they can perform if they need to. There's Olivia having a nice little chat with Bindi the puppy dog. None of the townies have discovered that group science project yet. And Don came home from the coffee house and had a bit of a game of water balloon fights with his granddaughter. That's Denise. She is one of the 2 eldest twins of Cindy and Bill. Her little sister is Donna, who is the heir for Cindy. There's Oliver working on his fishing skill, and Byron's decided to go indoors. Daryl had a wish to write a book, and I got him to sit at the computer and write a comic book. I've never had a sim write a comic book before that I can remember, so it was something new for me. And he just needed to write. I think he might have just needed to improve his writing skill. Anyway, we'll leave him to that. That's his twin sister outside playing with their grandfather. Now, when the kids came home from school, some of them had a lot of reading queued up when they went off to school. So instead of coming home in the bus when school ended, they stood outside the school or somewhere and just stood on the footpath and read. So I went and watched them, and some townie came along and started busking. I just stayed there in case they got arrested for being out after curfew. And as soon as they finished reading that particular book, whatever it was, I sent them all home. Here's another day and Don's back in the pool. He really does enjoy swimming and diving. Oh, I bet that hurt. After all the homework was done, I sent some of the teens off to the local water treatment plant where they could go fishing. That's Paul and Pat there, both imaginary friends made real who have got lots of skills to learn before they can age up. Paul is the eldest, being the imaginary friend made real of Max. I'll send Bill here as well, I think, because he needs to do a lot of working on his fishing and other skills. He was introduced to the household when he was a teen because he was made specially for Cindy to marry and have babies. And when he aged up from teen to young adult, either the same day or the next night or whatever, he was abducted by aliens and he became pregnant to his alien, and that's where Carl came into the picture. And then Don was pregnant as well with Sunny. So that's when I decided that there would be no more alien abductions or pregnancies, and I got into a mod from NRAS and I reset a few settings to 0 to make it 0 chance of any of them being abducted again. And if they weren't abducted, there couldn't be any pregnancies, could there? So it worked. Back at home, lots of the little Sims are relaxing in the playground. There's Bill, and I talk to his little daughter Donna, who is Cindy's heir, and that's Sunny sitting down there building a sandcastle. Oliver's riding the spring rider, and I think that's Riley having a swing. He is the imaginary friend made real of Denise. There's Bill, he's gone fishing now, working on his fishing skill. He's on the wrong side of the pond, I think. The other two are still there fishing. It's getting a bit dark. They'll have to send the teens home shortly, but I'll leave Bill there for a while. He's a young adult, so he should be okay. He won't get caught for being out after curfew. The children have been meeting friends at school, and there's one of their friends that's come home from school with them. I'll have to work out which door's unlocked, see how she got inside the house. And that's Lance sitting there opposite reading. He's going to be aging up shortly. He's very close to having read everything he needs to read, and he's got enough skills. But he's only going to be aging up to teen, so there's still plenty of time for him to finish reading recipes and bait books. And he's done his child skills. He'll be aging up with Sunny. They've become teenagers. They've both got back up to grade A at school again now. I think that's Carl having some fun diving into the swimming pool and getting out again repeatedly. There could be little Sunny in there as well. I don't know who the third one is. Cindy and Coco are enjoying a happy moment together. It looks like Pat's there doing his homework. He's been working hard, learning his skills, reading books, doing homework, going to school. He's at grade A as well at school now. They all went from grade A to grade C when they moved from Moonlight Falls to Appaloosa Plains. And now I think they've all got up to grade A again now at school. When the teens age up to young adult, they will have their birthday parties and then they'll move to Vice City to join Martin and Bart and Mary and Barbara, who have already aged up to young adult and moved to Vice City. Martin Lake's too full, I can't send any more Sims there. Most of the Sims are being good and learning skills and reading books, but some of them have found a way to get out of it and go and play in the sprinklers in the greenhouse that's at the back. I think they're having a really good time, but we're about to have a birthday party or two, and one of the birthday boys is playing the sprinkler and he's down the other end there. There he is, little Lance. He's about to become a teen. Let's go and have the party. Here's Sunny waiting beside his cake to age up to teen, and Lance has dragged himself away from the sprinklers. He's still in his swimwear. He's going to age up next. And the little heir is there with her pink dress, little Donna, and Bill, who is Donna's father. They're ready to celebrate Sunny's birthday. He's going to become a teen. He hasn't quite finished reading all of his books yet, but once he's a teen, he'll be able to work on his gardening skill and cooking skills as well. So he'll be able to start reading cooking books. Once he gets to level 7 in gardening, he can pick up and collect any seeds that he finds lying around in the world. Needs to get to level 10 before he can plant the Omni plant though. There's Carl and Pat. He'll be waiting a little while before he becomes a young adult. There comes Byron. He was the imaginary friend who was the latest one to be made real. He had to wait for Mary and Barbara to move out. He is Daryl's imaginary friend made real. Sunny's, there he is, now a teen. And he got the eco-friendly trait. Here comes Olivia and Daryl in his dress-up outfit for holding court. He's been writing his comic book. I'll be glad when Daryl ages up because I'm tired of him always being in that crown and that outfit. Denise is in it as well quite a lot, but she's not always wearing the outfit around. Denise and Daryl will probably age up next episode, along with their imaginary friends Made Real, Riley and Byron. Sonny's eating his cake. So this is getting to the end of the video now. Hope you've enjoyed it. It's taken me a while to get it up, but I had lots of crashing with the Era 12s, which I lost at least a week of gameplay with that, having to redo things and crash and redo things and crash over and over again. And the software's been playing up badly as well. I use Adobe Premiere Elements, the 2018 version of it, and lately it's been really painful. So I've bought a new version. So let's hope the next lot of videos don't give me the same problems. So if you've enjoyed the video, please do give it a like. There goes Don heading off to work. He's going to miss Lance's aging up. Oh yes, and Bill's off to work as well, and I suppose Olivia will be going to work too. There's 3 of them head off together, but Olivia and Don only work 2 days a week. Yeah, there's Daryl back at his holding court. Here comes Lance. He's going to age up now. He's got his birthday cake. There's Pat behind him. I'm going to try to hurry this through and have as many birthdays as possible, but not until they've done their reading. I'll give Sonny and Lance makeovers after I've saved their aging up. I haven't saved yet for Sonny, but we're in a different world now, and this house has been put into the library and moved into a fresh lot. So it's got rid of all of its problems that it had. There he is. He's blown out his candles. Oh, Denise has turned up. Yes, Sonny was a toddler when Denise and Daryl were born. So I let them all be toddlers together for a little while, and then Sonny aged up to child. And he's been a child for quite a while now. So it's really time he became a teen. There he is. Lance has now got his teenage form. And he's become friendly. I used to use that trait all the time, but I don't use it very often now. So now it's time for them to go and eat the cake. The video's gone over a little. It's a minute longer than I would usually do. It might go for another minute. They'll have some cake, and then I will give the 2 newly aged up Sims a makeover, and they'll get their new outfits, and I'll let you see them in I won't show you all of their new outfits, I'll just let you see what they're wearing at the moment, but their new version. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you have enjoyed it, please give it a like. If you would like to see the future videos in this series or other series that I may do, then it'd be a good idea to subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. And thank you very much to everybody who has subscribed. It is wonderful and encouraging to see so many people subscribing now. I do hope you're all managing to enjoy at least some of what I post. Here's Lance after his makeover. Remember, he was playing in the sprinklers when he came in to have his birthday and blow out his candles. So he's in his swimwear, and after Sonny's makeover, he's in his everyday outfit, and I've given him the same t-shirt as Carl's got, but it's got a slightly different design on the front of it. So thank you for watching. Happy simming.